Well, hey, howdy, Jeff. Sorry for the delay on getting this info to you on the globe rest for the 316. I don't have a disassembled 316 right now, and I don't want to take my original apart, but I'll try to show you. This is basically what the globe rest looks like. The one that I use for my 316Ts looks like this. The big difference between the two of these is the lighting door. On the originals it has the sliding hatch, but on mine it just has a touch hole. Since I use an alcohol preheater, all I gotta do is stick a little match up there to light the alcohol. Also, putting those in as round holes takes about 10 minutes or less. Putting in an original lighting hatch like this, the way it's cut, the piece that goes in and the riveting, would take me about an hour. I mean, I can do it if I'm doing a restoration, but for my 316Ts, I don't want to add an extra hour of labor that's not needed. Okay, now, the other differences are this. I'm going to try to hold the camera and tilt this. If you notice the profile on the 316 original globe rest, it's a flat from the tip here to the collar is a flat run. On mine, you can see it's curved, and I'll tell you why. It took me a long time to figure out how to do this, but I found out that a standard electrical canopy that you can buy at Menards has 2 holes in it, or you can buy them from Grand Brass Lamp. It's a company that sells all kinds of good stuff. Is the correct diameter. The diameter on this is the same as the diameter of that within a millimeter, actually. And to get this shape, I had my machine shop make me this male and female setup. So what I'll do is I'll take one of these canopies. I have to enlarge the hole a little bit, put it in there, put that in, and I give it a couple of really good smacks with a hammer. And it punches out this relief area. Then this is a stencil type thing I made for hole location. When it's punched out, I take my marker and I mark these holes, and then I can drill it out. Okay. These canopies cost, I don't know, with shipping and all that, I can get a canopy for like $6.50, $7. I tried doing something where I would spin form them from scratch. It didn't work. Called a couple of companies about having them spin formed, and they say, yeah, we can do that. It'll be about $110 each. I said, well, that's not what I'm going to pay. So when I found these canopies, I was absolutely delighted. For my purposes, that small arc is really no big deal. If you're doing a restoration, though, you'd probably want it flat. Now, you said you had a lathe and the ability to turn, so you might want to make something like this, only, with this surface recessed further in with a flat surface. So when you put a canopy in and smack it, it'll stretch it straight. The other big deal is, with the electrical canopy, this lip is 9 millimeters. The lip on the Coleman is 3.4 millimeters. Now the thing is, though, if you're going to make a male-female tap die thing like this with the flat surface, when you put it in, it's going to stretch it and make the total height of your collar higher than the height of the canopy, but then you can go back and trim it off since you got so much excess here. So these are, I'll show you this again. It has this little trap lighting door. It's held in place with a rivet. When the door is closed, the hole in that matches up with the hole in the pardon me, with the globe rest. That surface is flat as opposed to my surface being curved. Now here's the actual measurements. The diameter from end to end of the Coleman globe rest is 126 millimeters. The canopy is 125 millimeters. And a standard globe fits in there just right. The lip height, that's what we're talking about, this versus this, on a Coleman is 3.4 millimeters, on mine it's 9 millimeters. The centering flat, and this is just because that's what my machine shop made. The Coleman centering flat is 79 millimeters, mine's come out 76.5, which is no big deal. Total height from the bottom of this flat to the top of that on a Coleman, 91 millimeters. On mine is 21.5. Okay, so to recap, I buy a canopy like this. It's an standard electrical thing. If you go to Grand Brass Lamps, you can get these pre-chromed. You can get them in brass. You can get them in bare steel, and they're really not that expensive. Then I, enlarge this hole a little to fit over the plug. Put this on. Give it a couple of good smacks with my big hammer hanging over there. And I get this indented circle. Then I put my stencil on there, trace my holes, and this works out really well. With a standard magic marker, when I draw my hole, the marker just leaves a little tiny spot in the center where it didn't mark. I put my center punch there and use that to center my holes. Then I drill 2 lighting ports in as opposed to the Coleman's lighting hatch. I don't know if there's anything else I can tell you. If you do make a male-female setup to actually stretch that, let me know, because I'd probably want to get a couple from you. I could even send you canopies to use. To get that flat stretch, you might have to anneal the canopy. I don't anneal it because it's just a simple bend, but since it's a lot going on, you'd probably have to soften it. Anyway, so that's it. Again, the measurements. The outer measurement of the Coleman is 126, mine is 125. The height of the lip is 3.4, mine is 9. The centering flat on the inside is 79 on a Coleman, 76.5 on mine. Total height 21 millimeters or 21.5. So that's it. That's all I got to tell you. And the originals were made out of brass. Your question was were they steel or what, but the originals are brass. These canopies I get from Grand Brass Lamp are steel. Okay, but you can also order those in brass, and brass might be a little easier to stretch if you're doing a more complex. That's a magnet up there, that's what I was testing. Brass might be more workable than the steel ones. So that's it. I hope that's helpful, and you have a good weekend. Alrighty, talk to you later, cousin. Bye-bye.